Thanks, Chris, and thanks to Deb Socia and Next Century Cities for setting up this event and for Public Knowledge and American Action for supporting it. Magellan Advisors is building networks and smart strategies across the country, from some of the most dense urban environments to about as rural of areas as you can think about. And in the process, we deal with a lot of very practical policy issues. So it's really appropriate and really delighted to literally and figuratively come in from the cold here in DC between a panel on rural broadband and a panel on privacy. And let me just give you kind of one little quick example of a project I'm actively working on that is very relevant to this. In a urban core neighborhood that is low income and high minority people of color. And interestingly enough, they have, quote, adequate, unquote, broadband for present purposes. But at the same time, they face huge barriers to not just accessing the technology, but really effectively using it. And some of those are really deep culturally seated. So for example, we did a survey to really understand what their needs and opportunities are. And for anybody that's worked in disadvantaged neighborhoods, you probably know pretty much exactly what happened. They didn't really respond because the folks in these communities, in this particular neighborhood, have been systematically disenfranchised. They don't trust their local government. They don't trust large corporations. They don't trust consultants coming in and doing surveys, and they're very suspicious of technology. So as we're thinking about how we move forward, whether it's in our leading smart cities or whether it's out into the most rural areas, I encourage all of y'all to think about not just kind of the big policy issues that we're wrangling with at the federal level, but also some hidden policy issues, unseen policy issues at the local level. So for example, how do you get counties and cities to work together? That's one of the most vexing policy issues I've ever run into. Or how do you build local technology leadership capacity in order to actually execute these projects, get them built, and really make the most use of them? That leadership, for better or worse, does not come and really cannot come from the big carriers or major corporations or government levels. It really almost has to be grassroots level. And in particular, as we're talking about the issue of privacy and how we gather and deal with people's information, this is not just an issue of kind of big picture, top-down policy. It really is a very real and relevant issue to folks in their normal day lives. I like to say that smart cities are really about citizen engagement and data, and privacy is where this comes together. This is really a core issue to launching the next generation of services and really making it something that everybody can take ownership in. So with that, bring up the panel. Thank you very much for your time, and thanks again, Deb, for this opportunity.